Hello everybody, I'm Anton Tanitsky, and today I just want to talk about, well, how pretty much I sketch in ZBrush, 3D code, and how I went about creating this particular artwork right on the screen. So it's a really simple kind of 5-minute sculpt in 3D code, dropped into Keyshot, and then I used a photo on the background. So I made two pictures, right? This one was like top view, and then another one is more like action. So my idea is to create these keyframes, and I've used the photo pack. I'll show it just now, and I've been talking about this particular pack. I had a really cool photo of this kind of mud explosion leftover, really probably maybe 20 centimeters in size, but you add stuff to a scale, add some clouds and all that, and you get a massive scene, a massive crater. Well, okay, it's not really about photo bashing, it's about 3D code. So here we are inside 3D code, and I've got all these sculpts. You can see really rough, really simple, mm, but still they're really fun to make. Right now have my real-time lighting on. If you press F5, it'll toggle it on and off. I try to mostly sculpt on with real-time lighting on. It's a fantastic feature. Unfortunately, ZBrush doesn't really have it. Only 3D Code has. It does slow down your machine. Usually I found that it's kind of comfortable for me to model at maybe 2 3 million up to 4 million real-time lighting, and then 4 million triangles. Then I have to drop it down. I have to turn it off, or like I'll be turning it on and off all the time, but then it starts to slow down my system. So that's kind of a demanding feature. Well, okay, let's just start. Just file new, and I'll try to do a little flyer from scratch. Hopefully it will look fine. So the brush that they use for like that type of sculpts is Curve. The Curve brush, I found it really cool. I usually use rectangular square alpha for it. Found it to be my best friend. Oh, by the way, when I've started a new sketch, I've started with the small ball. It's pretty important because obviously the small ball means that you have a smaller, less voxels, and I want to keep it relatively small in like scale. So you can already see if I start to draw, and at the bottom it starts to double the poly count really easily. And I kind of don't want to go crazy. I just need to get the right shape. Okay, so the huge, pretty much advantage of 3D code is that you can pre-sculpt in the air, draw all your stuff in and out, and I kinda need symmetry. Okay, I'll actually have to start again. Okay, let's do symmetry, and so I have a fair amount of hotkeys. So right now I switched from rectangular brush to solid brush. I mostly use solid ones. I don't use these guys. I kind of don't find them useful. And okay, so let's start drawing some shape, and I'll do a flyer. And so when I sketch, I try to keep in mind the like 1/3 principle or rule of thirds. When your main body would be about 2/3 of your um, like I have the back tail, like I imagine a helicopter. So I want my main body to be of about 2/3 of the size of the whole body of the whole piece, and then I start to just I start to use the cutoff tool, so I switch between them quite a bit. So we see I actually have C on for carve and Alt C for cut off. All these really useful hotkeys. And then again, hotkeys for different brushes. They really need to do more hotkeys to speed up your process. I would say I don't have them enough. So one of the things that I found, I've done tutorials on using a sketch tool in 3D Code and a similar tool, the shadow box inside ZBrush. I don't use it that much. I mostly use, well, I've kind of started learning hard surface using those tools, but then I found that it's kind of faster to model it in this particular way, just freeform sculpting. Well, it depends on the task, of course. So I use the sculpting and the trim brush, right? So it's because I talk and sculpt at the same time, it obviously comes a bit harder than it would normally be. So cutting it here and there. And I think I'll switch to white material. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So while I sculpt, I kind of do think about if it's a military vehicle or it's civilian vehicle. I mean, you already get some shapes here. For example, these guys I'm pointing at, they could be some kind of air intakes for your to cool down the the engine. Then we have these shapes right here that are pretty cool. It could be covers for the cockpit. If it's, for example, a military flyer and needs extra armor. I'm actually taking one of those flyers from the Mud World, and I'm doing a more detailed version of it. So I've done really simple sketch before and then put it in the scene, and then I'll be doing a more detailed one. So it's kind of already, you can already use it as your base mesh for paint tool. You can already do some lighting tests, for example, in a renderer of your choice, for example, Keyshot. So my idea, my kind of sense of design, I like the angular design. I like the aggressive shapes. That's why I found that the trim brush is, cut-off brush is so cool. You've got a trim brush, a clip brush in ZBrush, but it's just nothing like this. It's not as quick. It's not voxel based. It's really not, no, not that fast and usable. So I think I so don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'll make a few couple more tweaks. So one of the things, like I was saying, rule of the thirds. Right now, I can see that the top half of this back wing is the same size as the bottom half of the back wing. So I want to cut it somewhere there from here. So I would break that symmetry to make a better shape. And I have this kind of funny shape right here that is way too thin for to be a practical part of a wing, and I kind of trying to fix it. It doesn't really fix right. Okay, so I'll try to smooth it. Smoothing is a bit too. Oh yeah, it's alright. So maybe I want to make guy like this. No, that's too much. What about that? So I'm switching to a pose tool. Again, I got a hotkey for that to quickly pose the stuff. I do find that masking in 3D code is not as good as in ZBrush. ZBrush is a really better tool in terms of like intuitive masking. So I would still prefer doing some stuff like organic stuff in ZBrush. However, the voxel sculpting tool is so good that it beats any analogs in ZBrush. Yeah, to be honest, I think that's it. It's already a decent design that's got some major shapes. Like again, it got some shapes with a lot of area of detail. These intakes right here. Then got some areas of really sharpness. There's nothing going on right here on these panels. Maybe I would add a tiny bit of couple holes here and there. But it's already a thing that you can just no, you can do like 5 or 6 of them. Really, do not get too like fond of one design you're doing. Get 5 or 6, then drop them in maybe Photoshop, paint them over, or just carry on with more detailed sculpting. I'll try to do a tutorial later on like how I proceed from here. However, there are already some pretty decent tutorials on like modeling in 3D code. So if you really want, I can do one. Just leave something in the comments. You can see me just evaluating the design and adding more cuts. Like some stuff there. So it's really designing with light here. If I turn on real-time lighting, you kind of don't really understand. I don't really myself understand what's going on, so I have to put the lighting on to understand like how the shape is playing around. And this is just huge, like honestly, like this essentially the like old sculptors, they would the sculpting wouldn't be really like it's more about a playing with light than actually like playing with shape. Kind of. I wonder if I could explain it better, but nothing better comes to mind. Okay, I think I can stop right here. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.